but it's $1 million up for each one. That's $5 million, Mr. 28 million in Forbes. Bring yours however you want. And since you're not a puppet, don't bring no white people with you then. That's a $5 million bet individually. You can take it all, or you can take it part and parcel. This is the new movement. And tell them plastic cup boys, we make enough money to drink out of real glassware.
I'ma need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah.
This is the new movement.
He wasn't expecting to get that phone call. Nobody was expecting that phone call to be made.
I'ma need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Is the attorney who made the phone call, and why it was parceled out to social media as paperwork had been served. And I'm not saying allegedly, Sean. And you're lucky I signed the NDAs that I did. Otherwise, I would tell them about all the things that I did with you when I was underage.
Katt Williams has sparked a new wave of speculation after pointing to what he believes could be a hidden message connected to an alleged leaked phone call involving Diddy. In an earlier clip, Katt can be seen making a hand gesture while speaking in support of a movement, a gesture that many viewers interpreted as a symbol of love and unity. But now, attention has shifted back to Diddy and the name he adopted several years ago. Could that name change hold a deeper connection to what Katt is suggesting? For now, there is no verified evidence confirming that the gesture or alleged phone call contains a secret message, so viewers should treat the theory as speculation rather than fact. Still, the timing has people asking one major question. What exactly did Diddy change his name to? And why does Katt Williams believe it matters? Interview 2.
See, Diddy's my nickname.
Uh-huh.
Love is my real name.
Okay.
So I just changed my name to Love. Sean Love Combs. That's what it says on my driver's license. That's my official name, Love.
$1 million up for each one. That's $5 million, Mr. 28 million in Forbes.
This alleged leaked call from Diddy in prison was talking about getting rid of pizza boxes. Now, if you know your stuff and you're privy, you know exactly what pizza stands for, and that's probably what they're talking about and referring to on this alleged leaked call. Pizza, for those who don't know, I'm gonna make it very clean. It has to do with children and selling.
Make sure you recycle the plastic.
Them plastic cup boys, we make enough money to drink out of real glassware.
So here's what's really going down with Diddy's leaked jail phone call. At first, it sounds harmless, just Puffy talking about pizza boxes. But this isn't about late night munchies. No. Pizza is actually a code word hiding something much darker. An underground network arranging illegal activities involving youngins.
Are you listening? Do not entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'ma need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Yeah, some people are writing that boxes sound like cages. You know, we have somebody talking about how Star Island is right next to a shipping unit and a very short drive from an international airport. And that's where Diddy lives. There's apparently a huge shipping place right near Diddy's home in Miami. And it's also been confirmed that Diddy's mansion did have underground tunnels, and some actually say that they connected to the Playboy mansion nearby. The scary part is that in certain circles, ordering pizza doesn't mean food. It's a way to describe arranging under-the-table deliveries of not-of-age ex-workers, as if they're menu items.
Is just as simple as ordering pizza. You could order as fast as 15 minutes. There's ads on social media and even gaming platforms that look exactly like this. You could select what age, height, and other really disturbing facts.
Katt Williams appears to be making a pointed statement about Diddy through a gesture that some viewers interpret as breaking apart a heart symbol. In the clip, Katt also makes cryptic references to plastic, pizza boxes, and other alleged dealings, leaving audiences trying to decode what he actually means. One particularly striking line mentions a price of $1 million for each box, which quickly fueled speculation online. Some viewers have gone even further, suggesting that the phrase could secretly refer to children. However, there is no verified evidence supporting that interpretation, and the comments should not be presented as proof of criminal activity. Katt's remarks remain ambiguous, and without clear context, the real meaning behind the references is unknown. Still, the mysterious wording has triggered intense discussion, with many people now asking what Katt was actually trying to communicate, and whether there is a deeper meaning behind the unusual language.
Joe Rogan completely exposed the satanic rituals in Hollywood, the agenda to feminize men, and compared the Transformer movement to the Baphomet. Listen to this.
Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
Katt goes on to say the first time he heard of a Transformer was the Baphomet, and that he's seen this agenda coming 20 years ago. This is all interesting because if you've been watching my videos for a while, you've seen me call it the Baphomet agenda, like what Madonna's doing to her son she adopted from Africa. Charlize Theron and her kid, she started transforming at 3 years old. Ex-NBA player Dwayne Wade and his kid. What about Machine Gun Kelly and his girlfriend Megan Fox, who've admitted to doing satanic rituals in which they consume each other's blood? Megan Fox has done the same things with hers. MGK did this to his body in order to prove his love to Megan Fox. And Hollywood's been feminizing some of the biggest male entertainers. Now listen to Katt.
The earliest I had seen that word gender was Baphomet.
This is a spiritual war. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Hollywood puts people at the forefront for us to worship and idolize. And these are the same people who worship and idolize Satan. It is time for us to break free of the shackles they've had on our minds. Satan is going all out because he knows his time is short.
Diddy's private island, shipping container island right across the way. Diddy's island with all of his friends, just a short drive away from a very huge island platform full of shipping containers, and you have to go right next to the Coast Guard. We all know what's been sealed and talked about. What are the odds that this man lives on this island just a short walk away from this entire platform of shipping containers? Come on, what do Diddy and shipping containers have in common? Did anybody else know this? This right here kind of blows my mind because if I was some star, the last place I'd go put my island is anywhere close to anything like that. So why in the world are these two so close to each other? And what do these and this have in common? And the fact that you have to go right past the US Coast Guard, that's pretty ballsy. But hey, Diddy's island that just got raided is a short boat ride away from a whole bunch of shipping containers. Do you see the connection?
Now, this alleged prison phone call involving Diddy has sparked another wave of speculation because of references to getting rid of pizza boxes. Some online viewers have tried to assign a hidden meaning to that phrase, claiming it could be connected to disturbing allegations involving children. However, there is no verified evidence establishing that interpretation or confirming that the alleged call is authentic. Rather than presenting internet theories as fact, it is important to separate speculation from information that has been independently confirmed. The phrase may sound suspicious in isolation, but without reliable context, its actual meaning remains unclear. Still, the alleged conversation has raised serious questions online, with viewers debating whether the unusual wording was simply misunderstood or whether it was intended to communicate something completely different.
Consequences and repercussions very well.
Okay.
So, my question to you is, why are you such a habitual line stepper? Why do you cross that line so often when you know what the repercussions and consequences are going to be? And they're not going to be favorable to you. For example,
right.
I saw where you and Suge got arrested, right? You and Suge got arrested. Is that true?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Like, and
what were we doing?
Allegedly it had something to do with like some type of photography, camera or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm just sure. I'm just saying this is what I read.
I'll tell you the story,
Yeah.
and you tell me.
The
Then does that change how you frame this?
Okay.
So, we have a meeting with a hologram company, which is going to go into a licensing deal on some holograms. This is in Beverly Hills. So now there's a rodeo, and behind that is an alleyway where you park your vehicles. That's where we are. Suge has brought his son with him, who's 5 years old. And before we go into this meeting, Suge's son runs behind the dumpster and urinates. And a lady films his penis out, peeing behind the dumpster. And then says, "Oh, I thought that was Katt's kid." So yeah, that's what happened.
See, man, this is
so understand, we were facing 20 years,
Yeah.
Suge and I. 20 years for that. And if it wasn't for the fact that this is Beverly Hills and it's all on camera, they had no problem sending us up the river when we couldn't have possibly done what was being said. That lady said that she got jumped on by me.
So you see what you just did? You just clarified a huge, misconception about, the events of that evening or whatever.
Yeah, but remember, it went to court.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't just my word. They had to play the video in court, which showed that her altercation wasn't with a man at all.
But the trip part about it is that when people print it, when the media, mainstream media put it out there, they don't add that piece. They just say,
nor do they make a retraction.
Right.
Nor do they say, hey, that thing we told you about that guy, turns out it was nothing. Understand, I got 15 cases that were dismissed. That should be talked about. Why would 15 cases be dismissed? Because you were so sure you had what you were looking at. Because every city I go to, I'm the nigga with the best car. There's probably smoke coming out that car. There's probably girls gathering around that car. I look like the plug. I get it. And you've probably already hurt me by the time you find out who I am.
Okay, make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah.
It's obvious Diddy knew he was going in, and he had all this already set up on the outside for his son. And plastic could mean CDs. If he had some, videos on CDs or videos on flash drives, they're made of plastic. Even hard drives, a lot of them are made of plastic, so that could be what he's referencing. It could be a memory card, SD cards are made of plastic, so all that kind of lines up with what he's trying to say, which is get rid of the footage.
When I said he is the J. Edgar Hoover of hip-hop, I meant that.
Damn. You gotta elaborate.
He got tapes with everybody. No different than J. Edgar Hoover did. What made J. Edgar Hoover so effective for the FBI was that he had blackmailed, kill files, burn files on everyone. He had the Kennedy family buy their nuts over Marilyn Monroe.
Damn.
That's what he did.
That's deep.
How was Diddy using tactics any different than that? He was also a cross-dresser and a late night. Kind of like the Diddler.
Oh.
Sounds like they got them a J. Edgar Hoover in blackface to me.
When we talked last time on the virtual, you mentioned who's on tapes and who got tapes out.
Yeah.
The purpose of having a recorded freak off.
Yeah.
What does that do for the male? What does that do for the female? Like, some females are cool with it. What is the thought behind that as far as let's record this session and either rewatch, keep it for sale? Is it evidence? Is it just like, what is the mentality behind having
If you can
the
own
visual
someone's,
memory?
their vulnerability, if you can own that, you have the ability to control and manipulate that person. See, guys start off by saying, ooh, you, man, I don't want to watch, I just want to watch us. See, that's the line.
That's the line.
Would you rather me be watching us than watching a bunch of other? See, the finesse, that fluff. You so, do you really want me watching anybody else but you? I could look at you all day. Vanity. See, make her feel special. Make her feel like she's the only, ooh, the object. Meanwhile, this sitting here thinking, so her daddy works at Sony and I need such and such's contract ended.
Does it also work this way for men?
Absolutely. And it's worse for the men. Women are used to being the victims of, not men. No man walks in thinking that another man is looking at him like a lollipop. Not a straight man.
Like I said, there's another tape of me out there. I just don't know where it's gonna pop up.
So there's a video circulating out there. I seen it today, actually. Which you speaking
I'm on
of.
a Diddy tape.
Say it again.
I'm on a Diddy tape.
Which one?
That person I was just speaking of. I was there with him.
But what about the reference to plastic that Diddy allegedly wanted removed? That detail remains unclear, leaving viewers to question what the phrase was actually supposed to mean. With no reliable context confirming the interpretation circulating online, it would be premature to treat the reference as evidence of anything beyond an ambiguous statement. Meanwhile, in the clip, Katt Williams directly challenges individuals he refers to as the Plastic Cup Boys, creating the impression of a deeper dispute behind his remarks. His choice of words has fueled even more speculation, but the true meaning remains uncertain. As the conversation continues, one question stands out. Was Katt simply making a pointed comment, or was he deliberately hinting at something much larger?
Bunch of years, for decades. And at the same time, nobody wants it to be true, and it shouldn't have to be true.
Suge Knight, the founder of Death Row Records and one-time enemy of Sean Diddy Combs, talks about Combs' arrest by the feds in an interview with News Nation. I look at what the one-time record company owner said about Combs from behind prison walls. This week, he called Chris Cuomo on News Nation, and he had a lot to say about Sean Combs and what's going on with his case and the allegations of sex trafficking being made against him. One thing he talked about is whether or not he believes Sean Combs is safe being in jail. Sean Combs didn't want to be in jail. He wanted to post bail, a bail of $50 million, but the judge denied that request. He's in the MDC, and that's a federal prison with a really awful reputation. Knight was asked whether he thinks Combs is safe behind bars.
I don't ever want to say he's in danger, and neither should he say that. Because once he gets to the point where they feel he's going to be suicidal to himself, harmful to himself, once they put him on suicide watch, you have the rights to nothing. No socks, no drawers, no t-shirt, no blanket, no sheets. You asshole naked in a cell as a crazy man. So he definitely don't want to do that. And the other advice I would tell him, maybe he should get on the Jewish diet. Because the kosher meals is way better than the food somebody else is making for you. At least they're going to come hot, they're going to come sealed, and you got to be the one to open them. That's very important.
What about people trying to hurt him?
Go to jail. One of the things is this. I don't care who you are. Prison and jail is a negative environment. If somebody can do something to them and get a name for themselves, they're going to actually do it. Or they can do whatever they feel they got to do to prove themselves. But we also got to learn. We got to learn from our mistakes. Everything don't have to be a mistake. You got to better yourself. But we all know what we signed.
Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Bob. You ghosting. Now, because I'm in here. It's all good. You about to get out on bail. No.
Speculation has also spread around the possibility that the reference to plastic could be connected to an alleged stash of baby oil associated with Diddy, although there is no verified evidence confirming that interpretation. This isn't the first time Katt Williams has used sharp humor and provocative commentary when discussing powerful figures in Hollywood. Over the years, his remarks about secret societies and influential celebrities have repeatedly fueled online theories, with some viewers even attempting to connect names such as Diddy and Jay-Z to those claims. More recently, clips of Katt discussing Hollywood culture, controversial spiritual themes, changing ideas about masculinity, and other provocative subjects have circulated widely online. However, many of the claims attached to those clips are interpretations or allegations rather than established facts. His comments have nevertheless generated intense debate, leaving audiences questioning what he actually meant and whether there was a deeper message behind his words. Now listen closely to what Katt Williams said.
Offered his thoughts on the freak-offs.
Well, number one, luckily, I wasn't their first choice, their second choice. I wasn't no choice to be at those freaky parties. But you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? And the sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody know what time it is. So at the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played this joke with me. And they used to walk in the Interscope office. They'll go back there and they'll be like, hey, will you pass the test? I said, we haven't did the test. One dude said, well, don't say that in front of Mr. Knight because he's going to take it offensive and hurt somebody. I said, well, whatever it is, I probably will take it offensive when somebody will get their ass whooped. You know, that was me in those days. But they used to have these guys, they used to call it the boiled egg test. They used to take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg, they have those guys put their pants down and bend over and they stick it. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood. So everybody want to go act like they don't know what's going on.
Hold on a second,
but
Suge.
if you just look, all you gotta do is
I have never heard of anything like that. So if I haven't heard about it, just assume a lot of people haven't heard that before. But you think it's on video?
Let's stop for a second.
Go ahead, Suge.
Yeah, listen, also, have you ever been to any puffy parties?
No.
You sure they had a long time to think about it. But if you haven't been in those butt naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they wasn't on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something. But I wasn't there, but it's proof of it. But at the same time, everybody want to look around and act like something going on that wasn't right. It's the facts of life in the industry.
So that was kind of graphic, but this is what Suge Knight is saying. And at one point, he ran in these circles. Knight also talked about Sean Combs, who he calls Puffy, because that's how he knew him in the 90s, as Puffy, being violent with Cassie Ventura and a woman he...
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time.
Katt Williams goes on to describe his early awareness of what he calls a transformer concept, connecting it to the Baphomet imagery, and claiming that he recognized what he viewed as a broader cultural agenda nearly 2 decades ago. These comments have drawn attention because similar language has appeared in online discussions surrounding Hollywood, celebrity culture, gender expression, and changing ideas about identity. However, many of the specific claims circulating alongside Katt's remarks are allegations or personal interpretations and should not be treated as established facts. Social media discussions have also attempted to connect various celebrities and their families to these theories, but those connections often lack reliable evidence. The broader argument focuses on the idea that entertainment culture can influence how people view masculinity, femininity, and personal identity. Katt presents his perspective in a provocative and highly direct way, which is one reason his comments continue to generate strong reactions online. Whether viewers agree with his interpretation or not, his remarks have clearly reignited a debate about celebrity influence, cultural change, and the messages audiences believe they are seeing in popular entertainment. Now listen carefully to what Katt Williams says next.
You want to know what makes Diddy being publicly shamed like this so left?
What's that?
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy. Just been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years. He's worse.
So when you think his moment of reckoning is coming, because we talk about that often on the platform, and not that we don't know him to wish anything bad on anybody, but we've heard that too. So
I think the KPD trial has the potential to force Sean Combs to finally be honest about some things that he hasn't been honest about, which could create great leverage for knocking that big lip camel face back into the oblivion in the depths of hell where he came from. And I'm gonna be right there every step of the way. I got you. You just don't know it yet.
Everybody thinks Diddy, Tupac. You know the whole mystery surrounding Tupac? Well, it's not a mystery. This guy told police a long time ago that he's the one who did it. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, that doesn't look like Diddy. And well, you're right. His name is Keefe D, and he was friends with a guy named Diddy. And well, Diddy had a problem, and his problem's name was Suge Knight, a record executive who had a reputation for violence. And well, one day during an award show, he says, "Join my record label. I won't dance around in your videos like some other people." Everybody looked at Diddy. Diddy said, "What? No, you're not talking about me." Diddy's boy said, "Diddy, come on." Diddy said, "I'm gonna go talk to him." So he goes over to Suge Knight. He runs into a brick wall. He said, "What is Wall doing here?" His boy said, "Diddy, look up." Diddy looks up. He said, "Oh." Suge Knight said, "Is there a problem?" Diddy said, "No, I just want to know who you was talking about." Now, Diddy claims that Suge Knight said he was talking about somebody else and not him. But that's not what it looked like, because a few months later, Diddy and Suge Knight get in an argument at a party. Now, Diddy had some real around him, so he's chilling. He said, "What, Suge?" But Suge wasn't worried, because see, there's something I forgot to tell you. Suge was affiliated with a group of individuals called the Blood. For those of you that don't know, they were a gang that started in LA, and they had a legendary rivalry with another gang called the Crips. But remember that group of people I told you with Diddy? They were from the Crips. So the argument escalates to like a scuffle. Suge Knight and his really close friend against Diddy's crew. Diddy was like, "I thought we was just talking." Security then throws him out. Diddy's people walk over to Suge with a security tries to stop them, but Suge Knight's friend, Diddy said, "Oh snap." Diddy goes home. Diddy said he can't be that mad, right? Diddy's people said he hung Vanilla Ice off a balcony. Diddy said, so he calls his friend, Keefe D. And well, it turns out Keefe D was also the leader of a group of Crips. Diddy tells him, "Yo, I'm terrified." Keefe D said, "Well, you should be. There's a war going on in LA because of what happened between you guys." Diddy said, "I didn't do nothing." But everybody knows Suge Knight ain't trying to hear all that. So Diddy tells Keefe D he would appreciate it if Suge Knight was gone. It wasn't like an official request. It wasn't too serious until Tupac Shakur. Now, there's something really important you gotta know. Before any of this happened, Tupac was upset at his close friend Biggie and Diddy because, listen closely, when Tupac was in New York, he was recording in a studio. Biggie and Diddy were in another room. At that studio, Tupac gets 5 times after an attempted robbery, but Tupac survives. He tells Biggie and Diddy, "I know y'all knew that was gonna happen." Biggie said, "Boy, do I look like Raven Simone's." But you see, Tupac wasn't just spouting out crazy theories. The guy who Tupac had a relationship with Diddy, and well, Diddy was at the studio, and the streets talk. But not many people know this, but Tupac kind of got over it because he knew it was just a theory. But regardless, the East Coast and the West Coast split. People on the West Coast, where Tupac was from, was saying Biggie and the East Coast, Tupac. But they weren't listening to what Tupac was saying. He's saying, "No, he didn't." Tupac said, "I just think he knew about it." And here's where things start to get wicked. A song drops from Biggie called "Who Shot Ya?" and it sounds like he's making fun of what happened to Tupac. Tupac loses it. Suge Knight approaches him and says, "Hey, you hate Biggie and Diddy. I hate Biggie and Diddy. Why don't you join my label?" Tupac also didn't have much choice because Suge Knight paid his bail, but that's besides the point. They team up. Tupac says, "Sure. Also, I should probably let you know I have the potential to end this whole thing." Tupac had a nuke called "Hit 'Em Up," a song considered as the greatest diss track of all time, where Tupac is going in on Diddy, Biggie, and anyone associated with them. Suge Knight said, "God damn, why didn't didn't you release this? Well, the story goes, somebody slid Diddy a copy of Hit 'Em Up. Diddy said, God, he can't release this. So Diddy takes the beat and Diddy's label records a new song over it. Tupac hears the song and he is pissed, but he holds on to his version so he could really make it venomous. And here's where things get wickeder. Biggie and Diddy are flying out to LA for an award show. Pilot said now arriving in sunny California. Also Diddy, Suge Knight still looking for you. Diddy said, what'd he say? The flight attendant said, oh, he said, we're cooking for you. Are you okay? Diddy said, oh. See, Diddy was still paranoid about what Suge Knight was finna do to him. Now Tupac on his ass till he freaking out. Biggie said, chill, yo, they're not gonna do nothing. They did something. Biggie and Diddy arrive at the award show. Tupac wins an award, but they don't let him go on stage because the award show knew what he was on. They saw him backstage. He said, is Diddy here? They said, no, you can't go outside. Biggie then wins an award. Biggie then goes backstage with Diddy. Suge Knight and Tupac are backstage and it gets cracking. Them boys start scuffling. Something important to note is the whole time Crips and Bloods are like mixed into this whole thing. Biggie's friend goes, man, what's good? He brings out the... But everybody gets...
Katt Williams frames the situation as a spiritual battle, arguing that people should not allow celebrities or public figures to become objects of worship or unquestioned admiration. He warns that entertainment culture can have a powerful influence over how people think, encouraging audiences to remain independent and question the messages they consume. His comments are rooted in his personal spiritual beliefs and should be understood as his perspective rather than established fact. Katt's history with major figures in the hip-hop world also adds another layer to the discussion. He has previously spoken about encounters involving Marion Suge Knight, the former record executive and longtime rival of Diddy, who was closely connected to Tupac Shakur's circle. Knight is currently serving a lengthy prison sentence, and reports of past tense encounters involving Katt have continued to circulate among fans. Together, these connections highlight just how complicated the relationships between comedians, musicians, producers, and powerful figures in the entertainment industry can become. And with Katt continuing to speak openly about his experiences and beliefs, every new comment has the potential to reignite an entirely new conversation.
Tupac is infuriated. Suge Knight tells him, drop the song, drop the nuke. Tupac throws the song away, walks in the studio, and explodes on the track. He goes off and records a way more violent and venomous version. Suge Knight was like, shh. Tupac then releases a song, and it is a hit. Everyone's listening to it. But Diddy hears something else. He hears the anger. Tupac was known to be a loose cannon, so he hits up Keefy D and he says, remember what we talked about Suge Knight? We'll add Tupac to the list too. And everything comes to a head in Las Vegas by pure coincidence. See, Mike Tyson's having a fight in Vegas and he invites his close friend Tupac to watch his fight. But Keefy D and Keefy D's nephew are there. Now pay attention, we about to start zigzagging. Somebody from Suge Knight's crew sees Keefy D's nephew. They tell Suge Knight, hey, that guy's part of the Crips. Suge Knight, blood affiliated. So they put the pause on Keefy D's nephew. Keefy D's nephew goes to Keefy D. He says, Suge Knight and Tupac put the pause on me. Keefy D says, well, I guess the Diddy deal is on. Focus. Keefy D then goes to a guy named Zip, a big time street guy whose job is to make sure this whole thing goes according to plan for Diddy. Zip tells Keefy D, Diddy said $1 million. Remember, your main target? Suge Knight. Keefy D says, gotcha. Suge Knight and Tupac are driving through Vegas when Keefy D and Keefy D's nephew pull up beside him. Keefy D gives his nephew the nephew is pissed because Tupac really put the pause on him earlier. So the nephew goes, boom. First shot grazes Suge Knight's head and Suge Knight ducks, exposing Tupac. The nephew says, well, boom, boom, boom. Tupac passed. Now, you gotta understand, this is Tupac Shakur, one of the most famous people in the world. The FBI and the police are going to figure this out. In fact, as soon as Keefy D gets home, the FBI starts watching him. They said, boy, come on. Keefy D said, y'all got evidence? The FBI said, not yet, but you sell stuff, don't you? This kind of stuff. The FBI says, cool. The Colombians who supplied Keefy D said, the FBI, oh no, you got it. So Keefy D loses a bunch of money, but he says it's all good because Diddy said he was gonna pay me. He calls Diddy. Diddy ain't answer the call. He goes to Zip. Remember the middleman? Zip says, Diddy ain't give me the money. He tracks Diddy down and says, boy, you better give me that money. Diddy says, I gave it to Zip. Everyone said he gave it to Zip. Long story short, he never gets the money. The FBI finally cracks on him for the business. Keefe D says, well, I hate Diddy, so how about I just give you info on what happened to Tupac? Keefe D then goes into extreme detail about how Diddy hired him. Now, this is what the LAPD wanted all along. They formed a whole task force to figure out what happened to Biggie, not Tupac, because Biggie's mom was suing the LAPD when Biggie got in Los Angeles. So the LAPD went hard in investigation, which led them down the Tupac rabbit hole. By the way, they're pretty sure Suge Knight Biggie for revenge for what happened to Tupac. Now, a member of the LAPD task force named Greg Kading came out and said, yeah, everything Keefe D said matched up perfectly with our investigation. We're pretty sure Diddy did it. I don't know what you're thinking. Well, if they had all this evidence, why didn't they solve it? Well, for one, the city of Los Angeles shut down the task force after Biggie's mom dropped the lawsuit. For two, according to Keefe D, the FBI told them that there wasn't enough evidence to link Keefe D and Diddy. More specifically, since Diddy paid Zip and Zip didn't pay you, there's not enough evidence. And since Diddy is a billionaire with the best lawyers in the world, they need strong evidence. And Diddy's lawyers are just gonna say Keefe D said all this to keep himself out of jail. But Keefe D gets arrested anyway for Tupac because he writes a book about the event. He said, I thought I had immunity. The Las Vegas police tell him, no, you had an agreement with the LAPD for those specific charges. We found new evidence and, well, you finna get life. But I think the most interesting part is since the cases are technically unsolved, you can't say Diddy did it. But the police and rappers in the industry have been saying for decades. 50 Cent really early on said, yeah, by the way, Diddy did it. Eminem makes a song listing out what happened saying Diddy did it. It was the worst kept secret in the industry. But Diddy will probably never get charged for it. But also, I don't think the FBI cares because I'm sure the way they see it is he's gonna get life for all the other stuff he did.
Hey yo, check this out. I need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
Alright, Pop. It's just crazy right now. Okay, so there's a lot going on here, but I could definitely tell that saying the Netflix movie is definitely associated with the Freak Off videotape. That's pretty easy to put together. I don't know who this producer person is. That might be the one who's holding the tapes, maybe? I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, but he's not really spelling it out. And actually, there was a lawyer going on news stations telling everybody that multiple tapes are being shopped out. So this could be before that happened. And maybe that's his way of like keeping people silent by just letting people know that the tapes are out there, ready to be.
While Katt Williams continues to make cryptic comments that some viewers believe may relate to Diddy, Suge Knight has been speaking much more directly from behind bars. In a recent interview, Knight made striking remarks about Diddy and suggested that the music mogul could face serious challenges while being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. However, these statements are claims from Knight and should not be treated as confirmed information without independent evidence. His comments have nevertheless attracted significant attention because of his long history in the hip-hop industry and his complicated relationship with Diddy. Now, as Katt's mysterious remarks and Knight's warnings circulate at the same time, viewers are left wondering whether there is more behind the growing conversation, or whether these are simply competing perspectives from two controversial figures.
That's a good point, man. You might be right about that, man. You know they got some more indictments coming for Diddy, though, right? Tupac murder. You think it's one of them or no?
Well, Pac is a state case. Pac is a state case. Pac would never be a federal case unless they can find something that he did that comes under the federal guidelines. They're not going to add Pac case if they have something to do with that. If he has something to do with that, they're not going to add it unless it comes to some banking stuff. Like you hear guys talk about, Gene Deal said he saw a check. Bruh. Gene Deal also said I wasn't the only one who saw the check for $1 million that Eric Martin had, aka Eric Von Zip. I wasn't the only person who saw it. And on my program, I had named about 3 people who saw it. But my whole thing about it is this. If they find out that some way he talked to somebody and had them write a check or pay Zip the way they pay Zip, and it gets back that he has something to do with it, that might bring some federal charges against him. I don't know. All I know is that case is a state case. Nevada versus, you know, Keefe D. You know what I'm saying? Unless they can get something like that. Some phony money wiring into account and getting it to zip, but they can follow that. See, you know the funny thing about that whole shit with that check stuff is that not one individual who has the ability and the authority to run and see that Eric Martin cashed a check for $1 million. They never said it wasn't a check for $1 million. Greg Kading, none of them never said there wasn't a check for $1 million, because all they had to do is run his accounts. Did he ever receive a check from $1 million from Jimmy Henchman, Blackground Records, Barry Hankerson? Did he ever receive that check? Everybody always say, ain't nobody paying nobody with no $1 million check. Ain't nobody writing no check. I didn't say the check was for nobody's death. I said after Pac's death, we saw a check. Eric Von Zip had it for $1 million. He said he got it for Blackground Records. I don't never know him owning Blackground Records or doing a record label or anything. He may have. I don't know. But I do know I saw that check for $1 million, and I know who he said he got it from and what it was for. Nobody never said it wasn't a check though. But we checked the system, we checked the banking system. He ain't cashing that no check cashing place. He put it in some account. It was written in his name.
But I will say him getting that check and the timing of it, yeah, it's suspect, man.
Yeah. We looked at each other. Me and my man said, Blackground Records? Man, that nigga, you know he was in the music business? Nah, I ain't no. Okay. You understand? Not one investigator, not one person came out and said, Eric Von Zip ain't never have no check in his account for $1 million from Blackground Records. They could check Blackground Records account. That's easier than checking Eric Martin, because they was in the music business. If he wrote a check for $1 million, then somebody had to, what? Approve that.
And how long was this after Tupac murder?
This was in early 2000s. It was in the early 2000s.
Well, considering that the is selling his own evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net to the highest bidder, why would he sell evidence of his debauchery and savagery? Why would he sell on the dark net his tapes of just terrible? Wanna know why? Because he doesn't intend to stand trial.
Is he protecting people, or are people protecting him?
Oh no, he's selling it because he needs the cash. The last freak off tape that just got sold on the dark net, which I know because I monitor, went for $500 million. It had multiple stars in it. Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Drake. It was a really interesting night in Calabasas, and he just sold that footage.
How come you think it doesn't get leaked to the public?
The dark net?
Yeah, like...
Because of the dark coin. Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists. But that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell. Which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he had them dressed like and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the highest bidder.
I actually received the New York Post article from the person who contacted me to sell the tape. They sent me that article. I was not shocked by what I read in the article. I was hoping that even the client that I contacted would reach out and see and kind of alert that person that this was going on and to possibly help them. The person who has the tape really doesn't want to shop it around. They really want to help and give it to wanted to directly sell it to that person, but it seems as if they are going elsewhere.
You know, we know that you've seen the footage. You talked about that last week when you were with us. So, you know, as you know who it is, and I know that you can't tell us who it is for all the reasons, right? But as you know who it is, and as we're moving through this story, and it's starting to really feel like it's unraveling, and you feel bad for the person, and we don't even know who it is there anything more you can tell us about that part of it?
I really do feel bad about the person. Part of the reason that I did come and say something outside of just to protect my own safety, but I wanted to sound the alarm, essentially, bring the dog whistle, if you will, to that person that maybe they should do something about this before it came out. If I was them, I would do something about this, and the only way to do anything is to do the catch and kill. That's the only way to ensure that it doesn't come out. You know, we're taught that God helps those who help themselves. So if we have a situation where that person does have the opportunity to purchase the video, if I were them, I would absolutely purchase the video.
Wow. Well, do you think this is going to surface publicly? I mean, are we getting close to that moment?
From what I'm hearing, I think so. I'm hearing whispers that there is at least one major network, possibly two, in a bidding war for that footage. So I believe we're sooner rather than later maybe finding out, unless that person comes and purchases the video themselves, which is really the goal of the people who have the video. They just, you know, at this point, if that person doesn't want to purchase it, then it's going to go on the open market.
Suge Knight, the founder of Death Row Records and a longtime rival of Sean Diddy Combs, recently addressed Combs' federal case during an interview with News Nation. Speaking from prison, Knight discussed Combs' arrest, the legal proceedings surrounding him, and the serious allegations being made against the music executive. During the conversation with Chris Cuomo, Knight was asked about several aspects of Combs' situation, including whether he believed Combs could remain safe while in federal custody. Combs had previously sought release on a $50 million bail proposal, but the court rejected the request, leaving him detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. The facility has faced criticism and public scrutiny over conditions, which made Knight's response especially attention-grabbing. Given Knight's own experience with the federal prison system, his perspective immediately became a major talking point. When Cuomo asked whether he believed Combs was truly safe behind bars, Knight's answer added another dramatic layer to an already closely watched case.
Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah.
meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing. I guess how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
2 to 3. Also on the flash drives, Courtney, was what looked to be a manuscript written by, it appears to be a woman who had taken Kim Porter's private journals and had written a book. Is that accurate?
We don't know.
I don't know
how. Yeah.
I don't know how, who wrote it, put it together, but it was from her when I spoke to her.
What you received on the flash drives, was it the completed book or was it notes from Kim Porter that later were made into a book?
It was completed. It's only 60,
Okay.
only about 54 pages.
Sure, and in the beginning, it says, Kim made me promise that if something happened to her, I would make sure this book became public to the world. The way Sean moved, I knew that was a promise I would have to fulfill. Kim knew I was a woman of my word, and this book was going to make it to print. So it sounds like it is a woman who wrote up the notes from Kim Porter. Does that sound accurate?
It's how you read it, yes. I haven't even read the book.
Do you know who the woman is?
No.
And to be clear, he received it in its complete form. So I think just to make sure we have some clarity here, the manuscript that Mr. Burgess received was already in its complete form. It's not that he edited it or changed anything.
Got it.
He did give it to someone
Makes
else
sense.
who then edited it, but that's not how he received it.
Okay, so Ariel, did your client, Courtney, receive the book from the woman who seems to have written it, saying, I'm a woman of my word, and this book is going to make it to print?
I don't know if he received it from a man or a woman. He can answer that.
I received it from a man. I tell you, somebody she was dating.
Do you know if the notes from the book really were from Kim Porter?
It was, yes, because I spoke to her probably like 6 hours before I got it, received it.
You spoke to Kim Porter?
Yes.
So Kim Porter.
Just saying hi. Just saying hi.
Okay, Ariel, go ahead and give me clarity on the timeline.
No, I'm trying to get him to provide clarity of, was there a conversation with
No,
her?
I was talking to the person and he said, hold up, this is Courtney, be right here. Let me say something to him. He said, I know him, put me on speaker. Then that's how we end up speaking.
And then later, somebody brought somebody else came and brought you the manuscript.
Right. Before I left 18.
Suge Knight also addressed allegations surrounding private gatherings that Diddy was reportedly connected to, claiming that similar activity had been taking place since around 2008. Because Knight once moved within the same entertainment circles, his comments have drawn attention, although his statements remain allegations and should not be treated as established facts. During the interview, Knight also discussed Sean Combs, whom he refers to as Puffy, the name he knew him by during the 1990s. He made claims concerning Combs' past relationships with Cassie Ventura and another woman he identified by a nickname, but those statements should likewise be viewed as unverified claims unless supported by independent evidence. To understand why Knight's comments carry so much weight in hip-hop discussions, it is important to remember the historic East Coast-West Coast rivalry. On one side stood Diddy's Bad Boy Records, while Knight's Death Row Records represented the opposing force on the West Coast. That intense competition shaped one of the most dramatic periods in hip-hop history, creating rivalries, alliances, and controversies that still influence conversations about the industry today. Understanding that history provides important context before examining the latest claims surrounding Diddy.
I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started with 5 people. Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim was the longest working employee because she was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's personal assistant. Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost died. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was gonna meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and then the next thing you know, you wanna know what they all had in common though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest mother, because it seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning is gone. Just him. I guess Al disappointed you. You know, I speak for a reason. When you see this bullshit motherfucking game, people that you love, that you like, you know, it's too many coincidences.
Too many.
You honeycomb.
What you're about to hear is one of the most controversial claims connected to the long-running East Coast-West Coast conflict. According to an allegation that has circulated for years, the intended target may have been Suge Knight, while Tupac Shakur was reportedly caught in the incident instead. However, this version of events remains disputed and has not been established as fact. The circumstances surrounding Tupac's shooting have generated countless theories, but separating documented evidence from speculation is essential. Even decades later, the unanswered questions can continue to fuel debate and keep one of hip-hop's most famous mysteries alive. Gene Deal, who worked as Diddy's bodyguard during the 1990s, is now speaking publicly about what he believes could be a major development connected to the Tupac Shakur shooting investigation. According to claims circulating around the case, federal authorities may be increasing their focus on the investigation, with speculation suggesting that an indictment involving Diddy could potentially be on the horizon. However, no such development should be treated as confirmed without official documentation or a statement from authorities. Deal's comments have nevertheless reignited interest in the decades-old case, especially because of his previous proximity to Diddy and the events surrounding the hip-hop industry during that era. With old allegations resurfacing and new theories spreading online, attention is once again turning toward what investigators may uncover, and whether any long-standing questions about the shooting will finally receive definitive answers.